Hi, what's good guys? It's Poku Banks, baby. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. It will help me a lot. Now in today's video, we're going to be talking about the top personal finance rules that you must follow. Now these rules that I follow in my journey has helped me quite a lot in terms of sorting out my finances, investing, and just simple habits of just saving money and getting things done essentially. Now guys, I understand money is a big taboo topic. I don't know why people don't talk about money. Like, people are scared to talk about it. I don't know why, but that needs to stop. But on this channel, that's not a thing. What I do is I unravel the truth and tell you guys what I think and my perspective on it. But it's cool guys, if you weren't taught by your parents or you didn't have a mentor when you was younger, you're at the best place. So allow us to begin. Now to begin with, the most popular finance rule that a lot of people follow around the world, even you probably, it begins with Jay-Z. And he began to say, if you cannot buy it 2 times, you can't afford it. Okay, now that rule basically means that if something costs £50 and you have £70 in your bank account, you can't afford it. Yes, you could buy it for £50 and you'd be left with £20, but leaving £20 in your account is leaving you too dry. That's leaving you too thin. Essentially, you need at least £100 in your account before you could buy a £50 item, okay? So that means you have money left over for emergencies or just leftover spending just for day-to-day expenditure. There's that rule, and then there's also another rule adapted from that by Meek's Money. And I'm not sure if he created it, but he said it recently in one of his songs, and he said if you can't buy it 3 times, then you can't afford it. I kind of align myself more with Meek's Money on this one, you know? I personally believe in, if you can't buy it 3 times, just don't buy it at all. And the reason I love this rule is because it doesn't leave you too dry because, if you have £100 and you spend half of your total account balance on something that you want, leaving you with half left is kind of risky in my opinion. Whereas with £150, if you spent £50, you still have £100 left and you could do a lot more of that. I like that. It resonates with me well. You can decide whichever one you want, but at least, please, adopt one of them, okay? Don't leave the video without adopting any of those because I feel like those are one of the most important rules when it comes to personal finance. But I would like to just say that this rule, in my opinion, it only applies to wants. Like if there's a serious emergency and you need to pay for it and you can't afford it 2 times or 3 times, don't ignore the rule. Don't worry about it, okay? It's cool. Like, do what you do. I only use this rule for wants, okay? So something I want. Something I don't need but I want. So if I want some new clothes, or if I want a new watch, or simply just a luxury, okay? Something that I want, a new phone, whatever. But if it comes to, a necessity, bro, don't worry about that. Like, do what you gotta do, pay what you gotta pay for, the bills, whatever. Number 2, now the second personal finance rule that I follow, which helps me a lot, is simply, whatever luxury that I wanna buy, I must also invest the same amount of the luxury into like an index fund or into the stock market essentially. I prefer the index fund more to the stock market because there's less chance of it declining so much in value. Now you're probably thinking, Poku, why would you do that? You spend your money twice. You're spending money on the luxury and then you're also spending money on the investment. Now one thing that a lot of people get wrong with investing is that they think that investing is spending money. No. Investing, you're literally transferring your money from one place that's not making you no money, your bank account, over to another vehicle to develop you some more generational wealth. So this is an index fund that's generating wealth while you sleep. You're literally just transferring money from one place to another. You're not spending money, you're not giving it to a corporation, you're putting it in the stock market. This is a tool that the rich and the elite, the 1%, use to build their wealth. So no, in this essence, I'm not spending my money twice. I'm literally just transferring my money elsewhere, which can then be sold. If I really needed the money back, I can sell it and withdraw it out. This rule also keeps me in check that I can actually afford the item because, again, relating to the last rule, only buy something you can afford it 2 times. If I can buy a luxury, just know I invested the same amount into an index fund or whatnot, like the S&P 500 or the FTSE World Index. Have you ever heard someone say to you, don't buy an iPhone. Instead of spending, £600 on an iPhone, how about you spend £600 on Apple stock? And if you did this over 10 years ago, you have over, £5,000 till today. And here's what you say to them people, why can't I do both? And that's exactly what I've been doing essentially. So any luxuries I want to buy, I must transfer the same amount into an index fund for it to grow. So therefore, I'm covered both sides. I've got the luxury that I want, and also my money is also working for me. And now the third rule that I would like to talk about today is the 7-day rule. This rule helps you stop with impulsive buying. So the 7-day rule is pretty simple. If you want to buy something, you must sleep on it for 7 days. If you still want it after 7 days, cool, go buy it. But 80% of the time, you don't really need it. Now for this rule, you can adjust it how it fits you. So if you want to buy smaller products, like £30 and under, do a 24-hour rule. So if there's something on Amazon that you want that's £15, sleep in it for 24 hours. If you still want it the next day, cool, go order it. But most times, you might not even need it. Why? Because you may find it in your house, or you might have just realized that you just don't need it, okay? This stops impulse buying. And again, with larger purchases, things, if you're spending over £1,000, whatever works for you, have the 30-day rule. Sleep in it for 30 days, think about it. Look for cheaper alternatives for 30 days, for 1 month. If you still want it after a month, then cool, buy it. But I personally feel like this is another rule that you guys should take on board, because there's a lot of things I bought where, like, once it's arrived, I'm thinking, wait a minute, I didn't really need this. If I just relax for a few days, I would have realized I don't need it. Therefore, I can save myself some time from returning it, or I could just save myself some money. Simple as. Now, guys, while these 7 days or 24 hours or 30 days is going past, not only are you sleeping on it, thinking about it, think about, is there any cheaper alternatives? Do I already have this item in my house already that I just haven't found it yet? Do I really need this item? Do I really need this item? Can I live without it? Will this item really benefit my life, or am I just in the mood right now? Now, the next rule that I would like to introduce is now the finance rule, the 10 times finance rule. Essentially, if you are going to finance anything, take on any debt, any product, at least make 10 times the amount every single month. Now, this one may be a little bit unpopular in the comment section. If you disagree with me, fair enough. But me personally, if I am to go finance a car for £300, I need to be making 3k a month. If I'm going to pay £1,000 in rent every single month, I need to be making 10 grand a month. If I'm going to, finance a watch, I don't finance watches, by the way, but if I was going to, and it, £500 a month, I need to be making 5k a month. Whatever I'm financing, if you sign a contract, if you're getting into debt, if you're using credit, you should be making 10 times the amount every single month. Why? Because it's ease, okay? Now, the problem that we have within the personal finance world is that, some people they'll be making £1,500 a month. Their car finance payment is £300 a month. You may be thinking, Poku, that person earns 5 times the amount of their car. Okay, but are you forgetting insurance, petrol, maintenance, road tax, MOT, all of these, it will add up to around £500 per month. So now that 1,500 is now going to 1,000. Now to pay for rent. Let's be generous, £500. We're now at £500 left of their £1,500 salary. Now we have to pay for food. I'm gonna say £200 per month on food. Again, I'm being very, very generous. By the time it gets to all of the other expenses, they're left with zero, and this is what you call the rat race. You're making £1,500 a month, and you're spending probably even more than that. So you're using credit or your overdraft or whatever to keep up with your lifestyle. This will now make you a slave, because essentially you now have to work to keep up with your lifestyle. You are forced to work. The real aim is that you're in a position where you decide when you want to work. If you make 10 times the amount per month, then life will be pretty easy for you, You make 3k per month and your car payment is £300, you got 2.7k left to play with, okay? By the time you've done all your expenses, you got at least 1,500, okay? That's what you can use to invest and then grow your wealth. Now again, like I said, this is called personal finance for a reason. This is personal to you. So yeah, you may not agree with some of the rules that I am following, but again, take what you think works for you and then apply it to your own life. So you may think, okay, cool, I'm gonna do the 5 times rule. So if I want to finance something, I need to be making 5 times the amount per month, as long as it aligns with your vision. But for me, 10 times makes the most sense for me. And by the way, guys, this is for wants, luxuries. So for example, with the car payment, I was talking about Mercedes, like a luxury. If you need a car to get to work, but you want to finance it, and again, with the rent example, if you're paying a mortgage, then that's cool. What you're doing is you're transferring money from your bank account to your mortgage equity. You're basically saving money. That's different, okay? You're transferring money. But whereas with rent is not dead money, but you're literally sending money to someone else. You don't get that money back. Whereas with a mortgage, you get that back. That's more of a necessity. Another finance rule that I follow and I feel like everyone should be following is simply pay off your credit card in full every single month, regardless. Doing this just makes your life very easy. To do this, all you need to do is set up a direct debit from your bank account to your credit card provider. That's simple as that. Just do that and you'll make your life a lot easier. Firstly, your credit score will go up naturally and you'll never miss a payment. Because if you do miss a payment, not only will you incur interest and you have to pay more than what you actually spent, it'll be reported in your credit file, and it'll be on credit file for 6 years. So again, whoever you're lending from in the future, they'll be able to see that within the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. So trust me when I say this, just pay off your credit card in full every single month, okay? And also, I show people my credit cards and I show them my APR, and they're thinking, wow, that APR is pretty high. Like, that's a bad credit card. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not using credit cards to borrow and pay off in 6 months' time. No, I'm using credit cards to build up my credit score. The way I use credit cards is different to how most people use credit cards. They put stuff in their credit cards, they don't pay off for months, they incur interest. That's not how I use credit cards, okay? So whatever the interest rate is, it could be 50% per year, 40%, whatever. It doesn't matter because I pay off every month anyway. So it doesn't matter like what the interest rate is. We are smart, financially literate people, okay? So it doesn't matter to us. By the way, guys, if you want to win a free share worth between £3 and £200, make sure you click the link in my description or swipe up and then you deposit £1. Let me know what share you get. It's Poku Banks, baby. And now, the final rule that I feel like everyone should have is simply to have an emergency fund, okay? Once you get this emergency fund, your life is sorted. You are free. You can now think financially better, if you get what I mean. You don't have to be so worried all the time. If you have an emergency stash stashed away, ready for any emergency, then you can now go and invest without thinking twice. How am I going to feed the kids next month if this investment doesn't go well? It's cool, I've got an emergency fund, so if things don't go well, I've got a stash to take money out of. What if another event like the coronavirus happens again? It's cool, I've got a 3-month emergency fund. I can live off no work, no jobs for 3 months. What if I crash my beautiful Mercedes and it costs me $2,000 to repair it? It's cool. I can go to my emergency fund, take out $2,000, get it done the same week, and then I'm back on the road straight away. There's no waiting around, there's no adjusting to public transport. It's sorted there and then. Look, having an emergency fund, once you get one, you can now act freely, okay? You can start doing things and start thinking better. Your mental health will be so much better because you know you have a certain stash of money ready to go just in case anything crazy happens. Now, this is emergencies, okay? This isn't just for like, I can't afford this holiday, let me take money. No, I've made a mistake before. Don't do that. Emergencies, life-changing things. You know, what if you break your leg and you can't go to work? Cool. You can't go to work for 3 to 6 months. You got a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. Therefore, you can still live on for the next 3 to 6 months. This also gives you 3 to 6 months to find a new hustle online, okay? So that's why the emergency fund is there. It's to give you time to prepare to then find another hustle online or whatever to make money in the meantime. Having this is very, very crucial. Now, most personal finance experts, they recommend 3 to 6 months. Now, depending on your industry and where you work, it depends on how much you should save. So, for example, if you are a key worker, the chances of your job going is very unlikely. Why? Because they need you. The country needs you. Like, you are actually needed in society. Therefore, having a 6-month or 12-month emergency fund is kind of unrealistic because you'll be able to find work a lot easier than someone that works in something that's not a key worker industry. So, like, working at a nightclub, Those that work at a nightclub, they've had to find work elsewhere in completely different sectors, okay? Now, what does your emergency fund consist of? This consists of 3 to 6 months worth of necessary expenses. So this is any obligations or finances they have going out. So, any car payments, mortgages, whatever, rent, whatever. This is also food. This also includes subscription services, whatever. This is stuff to keep you afloat. But then again, if you are in an emergency, you may have to cancel some things that you don't need in life. So Netflix, Disney Plus, whatever. So for example, if you spend on average around £800 per month, you'll need minimum 2,400 to around 4,800. So 2.4k to 4.8k in your emergency fund. Now, I understand this is a big number, so you can start off small. You start off small with a £500 emergency fund, then increase it to £1,000, then slowly increase it. Why? Because it's free money and it's 0%. I'll use it in an emergency. If anything crazy happened, I'm going to my student overdraft. Simple as. But just to wrap things up, like I said, this is called personal finance. It's personal to you, okay? Don't let anyone tell you exactly what to do. Take what you like from this video and then apply it to your own life. Adjust it, make sure it works for yourself. Because again, I don't want you guys to copy me exactly, okay? Do what works for you and makes you feel comfortable, okay? Now guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure you leave a like, comment and subscribe. Any more video ideas you have, leave it down below. Now I hope you loved that. You already know, it's Poku Banks, baby.